What's going on? Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and I got a six-pack of NFL rumors ready to crack open for you. The first one is around Bruce Arians, who I know definitely has a few six-packs of his own. And is he going to be the next head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Bruce Arians served as the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals from 2013 to 2017. In January 2018, Arians formally announced his retirement from coaching. It seems, however, that Arians' time retired as a broadcaster with CBS will be short-lived. Rumblings first began that Arians would return to coaching when the 66-year-old said during a broadcast in early November that Cleveland is the only job that I would consider. On Saturday, Arians' potential return to the NFL gained some steam. Only not in Cleveland. Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times reported that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have interviewed Arians and cited him as the, quotes, front-runner to become the next Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach. So with Arians coming over to potentially be the head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I want to know from you guys because, I'm thinking about Arians and all these, I liked him as a lot when he was a coach for the Cardinals. The Buccaneers, though, have not seen a lot of success with Dirk Cutter. So if Bruce Arians comes over and he's the next head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I want to know from you, how many games would the Buccaneers win with Bruce Arians as the head coach? I want you to comment if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube. If you want to know what I think, DM me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. This next rumor is booming because it's around my dude, Antonio Brown, and is he going to be traded? And this one's also gaining some steam. And when I first heard this rumor, I was like, I don't really think he's going to get traded. But a report from NFL Network's Ian Rappaport on Saturday morning detailed that the Steelers are expected to consider trade requests for Brown prior to the start of free agency. Under his contract, Brown will not become a free agent, though, until 2020. Rappaport outlined Brown's contract logistics. So, the deadline for a deal would be $2.5 million roster bonus. Brown is due on the third day of the league year. If the Steelers trade him, it would save $1 million in salary cap space, which is roughly $22 million to keep him, $21 million cap hit to deal with him, and create a $15 million in cash savings. The interesting thing, though, is we all know that Antonio Brown is an absolute stud, and I think it's funny when other NFL players go out and try to recruit these kind of players. Like George Kittle already tweeted at AB some eyes like, yo, man, hey, come to San Francisco. And then even Jarvis Landry, a great wide receiver for the Browns, saying, hey, AB, come over to the Browns. Let's see what we can get doing. But the reason why all these players are freaking out over Antonio Brown is because the dude's a stud. Let's just look at it. In 2018, 104 catches, 1,297 yards, 15 touchdowns. It's a career high of 15 touchdowns. Antonio Brown, 5 straight seasons over 100 yards or 100 receptions, over 1,250 yards, and over 8 touchdowns. Antonio Brown, business has always been booming for him, and you could argue that he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. So you're looking at AB, the rumors are, if he's going to get traded, where the heck is he ultimately going to end up playing, right? And then you look at his, career stats and whatnot. AB's got an unbelievable career. 837 catches, over 11,207 yards, 74 touchdowns. And I think it's funny when you look at him as a makeup because 5'10", he wasn't really highly looked at in the NFL draft. He fell all the way, I believe, to the 6th round. And then he's just, again, AB, business is booming. So where's Antonio Brown going to play next season if he does ultimately get traded? I want to know from you. I want you to comment below what team is maybe going to bring on Antonio Brown. Hey, maybe it could be the Raiders. If you want to know what I think, I want you to DM me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. I want to give a shout out today. Today's sponsor, BetDSI. Thanks for them for hooking us up with the best promo code on the internet. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, you get $60 for free. Put down $100, get $120 for free. Put down $500, be a big baller like AB, get $600 for free. Shout out to BetDSI for hooking up Chat Sports with the best promo code on the internet. My next rumor is around somebody who I personally don't think is very good, but, he's still a quarterback in the NFL. And are the Dolphins going to trade Ryan Tannehill? So, Ryan Tannehill was drafted number 8 overall by the Miami Dolphins in 2012, and he's facing questions about his future in Miami, and which is, nothing new. Maybe, Ryan, you should have just been a tight end, but hey, that's just me talking. What is notable, though, is Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald's reporting Thursday that the Dolphins are expected to explore trading Tannehill, who likely won't be back. He asked a longtime NFL executive what Miami should expect for Ryan Tannehill, and they said a mid-round pick and nothing more. Which, again, I don't really find all that surprising because, let's face it, Ryan Tannehill has been mediocre at best. He's shown some glimpses where he's been pretty good, and then he's shown other glimpses where it's like, oh, grandma getting out of the tub ugly, Ryan Tannehill. And his career stats are okay, right? Like, he's a mobile quarterback, but again, he's never really, I think, lived up to the number 8 overall pick. I mean, that's just honest. I mean, 62.8% completion percentage, 123 touchdowns, 75 interceptions. That's way too high. Sure, he has the ability to use his legs, but I mean, the Dolphins tried to surround him with a lot of talented players, and the Dolphins offense just has been totally sputtering. So we talk about all the time, you know, with players and like what's going on and whatnot. And yes, he's been injury prone and he's dealt with a lot of, you know, the ACL, the shoulder injury, and he's probably going to end up missing some time with those injuries. But Tannehill is not set to become a free agent until 2021, which is what makes this complicated. And then you're looking at overall, he's owed $18 million in 2019 and 2020. That's a lot of money to play a quarterback who's not really all that good. So we're talking about money, talking about where he's going to go, and I just want to know straight up from you guys, because personally for me, I'm typing my end for no. Is Ryan Tannehill good enough to be a starting quarterback? Right now in the age of NFL, we are absolutely spoiled with an unbelievable quarterback play. We are, let's face it. There's a lot of good quarterbacks, a lot of good young quarterbacks. I'm looking at a 30-year-old Ryan Tannehill who's making, close to $20 million, and if all I can get for him is a mid-round pick, is Ryan Tannehill good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? I'm going to type my N for no, but the show isn't just about me. I want you to know from you. Type Y for yes or type N for no. A player who has absolutely resurrected his career, it's Nick Foles. And he's going to be a hot topic this offseason. And are the Eagles going to trade Nick Foles? So per Rappaport, there's going to be plenty of teams interested in the former Super Bowl MVP who was picked up where he left off last year. Like Nick Foles, when he was taking over for Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate. He was the MVP, in my opinion, in 2017. And then Nick Foles stepped in, and sure, it took a little bit of while. It took a little time for him to get him going. But then, let's be honest, he was incredible in the playoffs. And when you look at Nick Foles, even this season, he picked up right exactly where he left off. And it's why teams are going to be super interested in him. So that 72.3% completion percentage, 1,413 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But then I'm looking at Nick Foles' career stats, and I'm thinking to myself, man, like, they're a little bit misguiding, I'll say this, right? If you look at Nick Foles with Jeff Fisher, and then you look at Nick Foles without Jeff Fisher, it is night and day. His only bad year was the 1 year was with Jeff Fisher. Go figure. But with a weak draft class, with a weak free agency class with quarterbacks, Nick Foles is going to be a big ticket item. So where the heck is Nick Foles going to play quarterback next season? If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, I want you to comment below where you think big you-know-what Nick is going to be playing next season. My next rumor is going to be a good one as well. It's around head coach who's got a lot of things going on, and it's Adam Gase. And is Adam Gase going to be the next head coach of the Green Bay Packers? So the Packers are the latest franchise to display interest in the 40-year-old. As Tom Silverstein of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported, the Packers would be the third team to interview Gase since the regular season ended, as the New York Jets and Cardinals have already sat down with Gase. Now, the only thing I'll say this is, like, Adam Gase, I think, you can look at him as being overrated, underrated, but let's just sit down and look at the facts. When he was with the Broncos, he was good, right? Like, he was a good coach. But also, they had this guy named Peyton Manning. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's actually pretty good. Peyton Manning, breaking news, is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. But when you look at Peyton Manning, all right, I'm not going to compare Peyton Manning and Rodgers, but if the only time Adam Gase ever saw success was with an elite quarterback, maybe pairing him up with another elite quarterback like Aaron Rodgers would make a lot of sense for the franchise. So maybe this hire by the Packers could potentially hire Gase. It's interesting. And if you want to know our top 10 list, all you got to do is type in top 10 replacements or top 10 Green Bay Packers coaches by Chat Sports. And guess what? You'll find it on YouTube. You'll find it on Facebook. Heck, you'll probably even find it anywhere, even Google. All right, I want to give a shout out to BetDSI for hooking us up with the best promo code on the internet. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. If you want to bet on NFL playoff games, if you want to bet on where coaches are going to end up going, heck, players, there's one place to do it. It's chatsports.com/bet. And remember, use that promo code LIVE120. I'll say it again. Promo code LIVE120 for the best deposit bonus on the internet. It's 120% deposit bonus. Put down 50, get 60 for free. Put down 100, get $120 for free. My next rumor is around Dan Campbell, and he may be the most fit coach in the entire NFL, which is, I absolutely love Dan Campbell. I think he's a tough-looking dude, and players play for him, which I think is important. So he interviewed Saturday for the Cardinals and the Green Bay vacancy. The Cardinals, though, they've been keeping their interviews, from what it looks like, pretty quiet. And he did serve as the head coach in Miami after Philbin was fired, and I think ultimately he was able to improve their run game. And I think when you look at the Arizona Cardinals, what's the one thing that they need to get going? Sure, Josh Rosen needs to be able to show that he can improve. But the real reason why I think Campbell would be a good hire there, it's to get David Johnson going. Like, David Johnson was really close in 2016 to being the MVP. He was really close to being a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiving running back. And this past year, the offense was gross. Like, let's just be honest. It was a gross-looking offense. So when I look at Campbell, I think he could be able to fit into that team. And if he's going to ultimately get his players to play for him, I think that's really important. All right, so who's going to be the next Cardinals head coach? If you don't think it's going to be Dan Campbell, I want you guys to comment below. We also put out a top 10 list of potential Cardinals head coaches. So I want to know from you, who will be the next Cardinals head coach? Comment below if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere that you see this video. I mentioned before that Dan Campbell is a good-looking dude. And thanks to Ms. in the Main, I think I'm an okay-looking dude too. Go to www.comfortable.af just to try out how amazing these dress shirts are. They got sweat-wicking technology, so you're not going to sweat in them. They're super stretchy, flexible, and you can't get them wrinkly as well. Yeah, sorry for flashing you guys a little bit there. Shout out to Ms. in the Main for hooking us all up here at Chat Sports with these awesome dress shirts. Go, again, www.comfortable.af. I'll be back later in the week with some more NFL rumors, so until then, I'll see you.